Hey guys, welcome back to A&J Education YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be discussing how to make a competitive master's application for humanities in 2022. So if you finished your undergrad and thinking about masters in humanities, keep watching. Alright guys, so today we're going to be joined by my colleague Peter. Hi Peter.
Hey.
Great to have you with us again.
Thank you. Yeah, you too.
Peter is currently studying MSc in anthropology at Oxford, and has just recently, been successful in this process, and knows a thing or two about, the latest trends and the latest things you need to do. So, Peter, can you, first of all, congrats on winning a place at Oxford.
Thank you.
No easy feat. How can you describe the process step by step? So, what's included in the process? I'm guessing the usual, essay and a reference.
Yeah, so there were, I think, 2 strong references I had to get from, that would be tutors or lecturers from my undergrad. And yeah, for me there was no interview, but there was 2 lengthy, sort of 3,000 word essays I had to hand in. And then obviously you bring up to date your personal statement and academic CV. So all of those that take a lot of time and attention. And yeah, there's a few little tips that you can, if I could tell you to better those individual things.
Okay, so you have two essays and 2 references and just one essay, or?
Yeah, there were two essays. Yeah.
2 essays. So one, what, motivation for the subject, and one like a research paper.
Actually, for me, I think you can have a choice of either doing essays that you've already written from undergrad or something of your own making outside of that. But yeah, there wasn't one for your reasons for applying. That's more covered in the personal statement, I feel.
Right.
But yeah.
So you have the personal statement, and then on top of that, two samples of writing. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And did you have an interview at Oxford?
No, so I didn't have an interview at Oxford, which was, for me, I felt quite happy about, to be honest.
Yeah.
It sounded quite intimidating.
Yeah. And in fact, most universities for masters do not interview candidates, so that that's quite typical.
Oh yeah.
All right, and Peter, in terms of the key things, when did you start thinking about this process? So did you always know you want to do a master's, or did this how did it happen for you? Because it's a big commitment of time, money. It's great if you get funding, but it's a big commitment. So
yeah,
how did it come about?
Yeah, so I think ever since starting undergrad, I knew it was something. Anthropology, and particularly the focus on health, was something I was really interested in. However, yeah, I don't think I ever seriously considered masters until probably 3rd year, the sort of middle of 3rd year, when I felt like I had a sort of specific interest that I wanted to pursue. And a big part of me was like hesitating from applying to Oxford, mostly because of like the prestige of it, and it's inherently quite intimidating going there, or applying to go there. But yeah, to get the ball rolling, if you want to, you really just need to go as early as possible. I ended up taking a year out and that meant I had a lot more time to make for the application, and was the right decision for me. But yeah, I also don't like to rush things in that way. So yeah, it works for me. Sorry, I've forgotten the rest of the question, to be honest.
No, me too actually. But I think what the viewers would want to know in terms of how early do you start thinking about the the process. So it sounds like you took a full year just to kind of do this properly.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. So there's normally 2 deadlines with courses, as far as I understand. So you have the initial one, which if you can get it in for them, that's great, because I think they prioritise people who do that. That being said, you'll still have a lot of chance if your application is strong. And there's one. So yeah, for me it was, I think, end of October and then end of January were the 2 deadlines. I managed to get it in for the end of October. And yeah, the process for that is probably a good thing to do early on is, really chat to your referees, because you need them to write a really strong statement reference for you. And that will require them taking their time out, and often, your lecturers are often really busy, so it's important to give them the time to do that.
And how do you build that rapport with your referees? Because at Bristol, like at many universities, you don't really have one-on-one with a with a professor. So how do you get to know them and have this opportunity where they're basically confident enough to write a reference for you?
Yeah, so the people I did get references from were I had gone to one-on-one sessions with.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Bristol was quite good in that sense, where they often have open offices and you can book your slot and
Office hours.
yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. Yeah, and so they're quite. I think they often for like pastoral care and student support. There's quite a big push in universities generally to make sure that students are having a good time and they're on top of their health. But anyway, yeah, so just booked into quite a few open slots for the office hours, and that turned out to be really helpful in a way where it doesn't feel like you're necessarily networking or trying to get on their good side. You're just getting to know your tutors as people and obviously talking about your work at the same time. But yeah, I think just being as like relaxed as possible around them is quite helpful.
And because you have two referees, so was there any scope, for you to coordinate the references? So you say to one, Luke, can you please talk about X, Y, Z, and to the other one, talk about three other things, so that it didn't double up, or were you completely blindfolded through this process?
Yeah, so there's an element of like you can tell them if you feel like you're in good enough terms with them not to, you can tell them things that you think you did well on their course. So both of I guess that's the other side to it, is like it's best to get people that lectured you, because then they would have seen your performance throughout, and you can just they'll often ask for it, but you can highlight the things that you did well on that course and they'll be able to talk about that. But the more that you're comfortable and you have a good relationship with them, they will just want to write a good reference for you. So yeah, that's like the main thing I would say, is like to really become friends with your tutors.
So it sounds like, just judging from this video, the big takeaway for me is the reference is really important, and I think a lot of students overlook that, just focus on their CV and the essays, when actually reference is a huge
definitely
a huge part of the equation.
Yeah, so it's super easy just to get wrapped up in your identity as a student and feel like you just have to work super hard, and you obviously do, but yeah, chatting to your referees is super important.
Basically, yeah. Great. Well, guys, if you're applying for Humanities Masters, remember this process. Do pay attention to the referees. Make sure that you invest in the time in them. And this is if you're applying for engineering as well, medicine, other subject sciences. Do spend time with your referees, and obviously everything else, the good essays, the application forms, etc. And do apply early. So the two big takeaways from what you said: apply early and invest time well in advance in building the rapport with your referees. Peter, that's super useful. Well, all the best with your studies.
Brilliant, yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much for your time.
Cheers, yeah.
And all the best to you guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.